everybody. Today I'm in Fishers, Indiana. I'm actually in this beautiful park here. This is called Holland Park. And we are going to discuss 3 reasons why Fishers, Indiana is such an incredibly popular suburb. And it's popular to, of course, people who live in Fishers, and it's known very well across the Indianapolis area, but it's known nationally and by many different publications as well. So 3 reasons as to why that is. So stay tuned. Hey everybody, I'm Jason Compton with the Compton Home Group. Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, please make sure to subscribe so you can learn everything there is to know about living in Indianapolis and of course the Indy Metro and places like Fishers as well. Also tap that bell so you're notified every time we do a new video each and every week. Now we get calls from people all over the country and all over the Indy Metro with questions about places like this, like Fishers, or any place in Indianapolis or the surrounding metro. So if you have questions at all or you need help with your move to Indy or within Indy, then be sure that you reach out to us any way that you know how, because we've absolutely got your back whenever you're making your move. All right, so like I said, today we are in Fishers, Indiana, and we're going to explore some of the reasons that make Fishers, Indiana so incredibly popular. There are a ton of them, but we're going to narrow it down really to 3 big reasons that attract so many people to Fishers and have over the years. Fishers has exploded in its growth. It's well over 95,000 people at this point, so it is its own city, has its own mayor. It is a separate city from Indianapolis, even though it's still considered a suburb of Indianapolis. Now, people around Fishers, they're not the only ones that really love their city. And it's not popular only because people live here and want to be here. It's renowned across the country. There are several organizations that love Fishers. Like example, Money Magazine. Money Magazine has ranked Fishers as one of the top places to live multiple times, and in 2017, it was ranked the #1 place to live in the entire country. So that is definitely some publicity and some positive feelings toward a particular suburb. So just to appreciate exactly how much Fishers has grown, if you look all the way back to 1970, there's just over 600 people here. And then when you get it to 1980, there's a little over 2,000 or so. We get up to 1990, a little over 7,500, but that's when the growth absolutely took off. In the year 2000, there's almost 38,000 people here. By 2010, there's almost 77,000. And now we're up here to 2020 at the time this video is being made, and we're close to 100,000. So I wouldn't call that quite exponential growth, but that is a steep growth curve for sure. And people moving here to Fishers were after a lot of the things that we're talking about here in this video. So number one is affordability. Now, people that live in Fishers or live in the Indianapolis area, anywhere in the Indy Metro, they know Fishers and some of the northern suburbs and some of the other suburbs on the west side of town, and really kind of all around the Indy Metro, to be honest with you. The prices are climbing. There's no doubt about it. But when you look in Fishers, and especially historically, the home prices have been fairly low. Now, at this point, it's pretty difficult to get into Fishers under $300,000. If you go north of $300,000, then you got a much better chance of getting in. Well, let's talk about what you can actually get for that home above $300,000. If you're looking in the $400,000 range, let's say, well, you can pretty easily get a home that's more than 4,000 square feet, 4 to 5 bedrooms with a basement. And that basement is very likely, in many cases, going to be finished as well. So you get a tremendous amount of home for your money in Fishers, especially when you compare it not just to Indianapolis. Of course, your money can go further within the city in many parts, not all parts, but many parts than it's going to in Fishers. But if you look across the country at some of the major cities and the big cities, Indianapolis and the surrounding metro is still relatively affordable, even though those prices over the past 10 years and 20 years for that matter have really increased fairly fast. So there probably will come a point in the future where we can really no longer say Fishers is exactly affordable. Very likely for a long time going to be more affordable than what you have in a lot of other areas of the country. But one other thing that helps to keep that affordability fairly nice in Fishers is just so the taxes. The property taxes on a $400,000 house, you could get those to where they're a little under $4,000 per year. If you compare that to places in Illinois, that's less than half of what you're going to have for a home of that size and of that value. So pretty attractive. And the taxes don't look like, they are going to rise over time, but they don't look like they're going to explode and get much worse than that. So that part of affordability is probably going to remain pretty consistent for a long period of time. All right, so number 2, along with affordability and just a lot of really nice houses, honestly, are the schools. Hamilton Southeastern Schools, that's the name of the district. They are phenomenal. They have a fantastic reputation. And there's actually 2 high schools in Fishers, and they're both really pretty big. It was back in 2006, because of the explosive growth of Fishers, they had to split the high school. Hamilton Southeastern High School has 3,300 kids or so in it, which is a pretty good sized high school, no doubt. And then you have Fishers High School. That was the new one in 2006. It's just a little bit bigger, maybe 3,500 kids or so. But they're ranked annually in the top 20 or top 10 in the state. And it's really pretty incredible whenever you get a school of that size competing that well with so many other schools that are much smaller across the entire state, like the Signature School in Evansville, which has roughly 400 kids, the Burris Laboratory School in Muncie, Indiana, maybe 300 kids or so. Exceptionally small, and so a lot can be focused on those students. Not that a lot isn't focused on students in a place like Hamilton Southeastern and Fisher schools, but when you have schools that small, it can make it so much easier to do. So phenomenal schools, and people are flocking to Fishers for that reason. But a lot of the northern suburbs, like Carmel and Zionsville, Westfield, Noblesville, that surround Fishers if you want to live on the north side, they all have fantastic schools. There's almost a can't miss in any one of those. But the affordability, of course, the number one point here with Fishers, and the schools, that combination is fantastic for people. So that brings us to number 3 then. Now the economy here in Fishers, that's not the third. That's actually one of the points though that you could get into. But the economy here in Fishers is doing really quite well. It's dealing pretty well with the explosive growth. But some of that economic opportunity and the fact that it is doing pretty well helps to create things that are attractive for people who live here and also who would like to live here. There is so much to do in Fishers. Remember, it's its own city. So it's created enough things to do here in Fishers where you don't have to leave. You could go to Indianapolis and do whatever Indianapolis has to offer, which is a tremendous amount, of course. You could go over to Carmel, which is right next door, has a lot to offer too. You could go to Noblesville, north of here, a lot to do there as well, but Fishers can stand alone by itself. Now we can't get into every single thing that there is to do in Fishers in this video. We can save some of those things for different videos here, but plenty of unique things to do. Like number 1 is where I'm standing right now. There are more than 24 parks in Fishers, and they're all really different from one another. This one here, Holland Park, actually I'm standing in some trees here, so I wouldn't call this necessarily wooded, but shaded. It has a huge playground, a splash pad, soccer fields, baseball fields, softball, a sand volleyball courts, things to do like that. And then you have parks like Flat Fork Creek, which is over on the east side of Fishers. Very different than this. It's wooded, it has a huge sledding hill, which is actually the highest point in Hamilton County, and you can bike down it, you can sled down it in the winter when we do have some snow, but lots of trails that go through the woods. They have tree houses. It's more of a nature park than it is a playground, where nature's the playground. So very different in all of those parks, and you've got everything in between, and they're spread around throughout Fishers really nicely too. So no matter where you live in Fishers, you're always fairly close to one. Another cool thing about Fishers, and that gives it something to do, is that it shares a part of Geist Reservoir. Huge reservoir on the northeast side of Indianapolis. Fishers shares it with portions of Lawrence or Indianapolis, and over on the east side of McCordsville. So that is a very unique feature that places like Carmel, they don't have. So it's especially a great place to go during the summer, where you can get out there, you can boat, you can jet ski, you can ski, there's places to go to eat, just lots to do along the Geist Reservoir. Another cool place is Connor Prairie. Conner Prairie is extremely unique. A museum, preservation museum, from one of the settlers that settled Fishers, Indiana, a long time ago, named William Conner. It's his property, it's where he lived, and so it's a living history museum where they have a village there, they have people there reenacting the times, they'll have Civil War reenactments there, they have a museum that you can go and do science experiments, study of course about Indiana's history. They have a hot air balloon there, actually, that is used pretty much year round. It's tethered. You can get on that, go up, I believe a few hundred feet or so, and you can get a heck of a vantage point for Conner Prairie and really all of Fishers, and looking out over to Indianapolis and Carmel as well nearby. Really cool place, but the best feature about Conner Prairie is their amphitheater. The Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra, they play concerts there every single week of the summer. It's called Symphony on the Prairie, and they'll have special guests where they have different themes, like a Michael Jackson theme, a Queen. They might do a science fiction theme songs, all kinds of different themes with these concerts throughout the entire year. It is a super fun place to go. You can go and bring chairs, a blanket, you can bring food and wine, beer, you can bring just about anything along those lines that you like, and just sit there and enjoy the show for a few hours. Awesome place to go in the summer. So in addition to those parks, there's over 131 miles of multi-use trails going through Fishers. Not all in the same spot, it's kind of scattered throughout, but you can't go very far without finding some kind of trail. Plus there's well over 60 different fields for different sports. I can tell you that in Fishers, youth sports are huge, especially soccer, baseball, and then of course it's Indiana, so basketball is here well, and it is absolutely enormous. Plus, the downtown scene in Fishers has exploded as well. It used to really not be all that much. Just as far back as 2000, 20 years ago or so, which I guess that seems like a little bit of time now, but it's exploded. And the whole vision there is to have a city center where everybody can come back and gather and have plenty to do. And there is a lot to do there, and there's still a lot of construction going on in downtown Fishers. In a couple of years or so, that is going to be such a dramatic change with all of the walkability, all of the restaurants, all of the shops. You can go and park very easily close by and easily get to any one of those places to go. And in addition to just some of the restaurants and shops, they have the Nickel Plate Amphitheater. And the Nickel Plate Amphitheater, every Saturday during the summer, this is where you can find the Fishers Farmers Market, but the amphitheater is awesome. Huge outdoor amphitheater, big grass field for everybody coming to a variety of shows. They usually have 2 or 3 shows each and every week of the summer, where they have cover bands one night, and they might have some big acts come in there every so often as well. And it's seats. You got to bring your own, either a blanket or a chair, out to sit on the grass, or you can just sit right on the grass if you'd like as well. And we're talking a few thousand people or so, but it's family friendly. It's for parents, it's for kids, it's for everybody. So it is a wild scene whenever those concerts are going on, and absolutely fun. They'll have beer trucks and food trucks, so plenty to help you out if you don't bring your own drinks and food, which you can certainly do. So there you have it, 3 reasons why Fishers has become such an attractive suburb for so many people around the Indy Metro, but also across the country. Now, if you've got questions about Fishers or any one of the suburbs around Indianapolis or Indianapolis itself, make sure that you reach out. We love it when people do, and we're happy to have your back. So until the next time, we'll see you later.